Gonna give it about 30 more seconds rather. Okay, thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Tawny Walling. I'm the program director at Hero to a Child. And on the call today, I just want to highlight a couple of folks. We have Erin Authier, our executive director, and Heather Rusher, our development director. And then we also have Jacqueline Citarella, who is our counterpart over at Family Support Services. So as many of you know, we've been working with Family Support Services for the last couple of years, and we're going to be continuing to do that again this year. So basically what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about this year's Holiday Magic program. We'll talk about the different changes that are being made this year. Oh, and also we have Amber Susser from Suncoast Voices for Children. I did not see you there.
You're good.
We're also going to be partnering with Suncoast Voices this year. So this is really, really exciting. We've met with all the case management agencies within our catchment area, and also reached out to the various foster care groups so that we can all try to work together on the holidays this year rather than everybody trying to do their own thing, which of course is very, very time consuming. So we're really excited about this year, and I'm looking forward to telling you a little bit about what's going to happen. So within our agenda today, we're going to talk about what the changes are, what the program is going to look like this year. And then, of course, as always, we'll leave plenty of room for question and answers following the presentation. And you're welcome to ask questions as we go along as well, if you have something that you would like clarified. So as you all know, Hero to a Child, in collaboration with Family Support Services and Suncoast Voices for Children, are going to be providing gifts for children and youth in the dependency system in Pinellas and Pasco County. Here are some pictures of kiddos we've helped in the past. And you know, where these pictures come from is when you all send us thank you notes or families send us thank you notes, we take all of those pictures and all of those thank you notes, and we put them all together in one document, which you can see on our website on the Holiday Magic page. So if you're curious what that looks like, feel free to go ahead and check it out. It's very, very heartwarming. And it's one of the ways we can connect with the donors after the holidays. We usually send that out around the middle of March. And it just gives them a little bit of remembrance about who we are and what we're doing, and reminds them to think about us again next year. So in 2024, we satisfied the wish list for 1,705 kids. We had 3 different pickup locations. We had over 200 donors, and we had 2 holiday workshops. And if you are interested in helping at all with our Holiday Magic program, you can do so by satisfying a child's wish list, or you can provide items for our workshops. You can also volunteer. We need hundreds of volunteers at the holidays. This is our biggest program that we do each year that requires a lot of volunteers. So all that information is actually up on the website right now at herotoachild.org / Holiday Magic. So feel free to check it out, and that will be at the end too. Okay, I don't know if this is funny on your end, but it's funny on my end. So if it is funny on your end, I apologize. So one of the changes that we're going to make this year is who can actually apply to have a wish list fulfilled. So in the past, that was always guardians ad litem and child advocacy managers. And this year, we're also going to be allowing foster parents or caregivers to put in those requests. So if you are a guardian ad litem volunteer and you want to put in the wish list for the child, that is fine, but you do need to communicate with the foster parent or the caregiver to make sure that they understand that you're the one putting in the wish list. There will only be one wish list be able to be put in per child. And if a wish list is put in, that child, they will not be able to be shopped for at the workshop. One of the things that we've also done this year is you can put in more than one child on a form. I know in the past, this has been something that's been, you know, a little bit stressful for folks. They have to put in every single person needs their own individual request. Well, we've amended that this year. So if they're in the same household, they can be on the same form. Again, you can share this information with caregivers and foster parents. They can put in their own list, or, you know, guardians ad litem can do that, but just make sure to communicate with the caregiver. I know that this is the biggest change that we're making this year, so I do want to pause and allow if there are any questions at this point, or if anybody's unclear about this.
No.
No, I haven't taken
And
it.
if you could raise your hand under the react button, you have an opportunity to raise your hand. Okay. Well, if you have questions as we go, you can continue to ask them. So how does a child qualify? This is pretty much the same thing as before, age 0 to 17. They need to be in out-of-home care at the time of the application. So sometimes I get questions of, oh, well, they're going to be reunified by then, you know, by Christmas. Well, that's okay, as long as they're not as long as they're in out-of-home care. When you put in the request, we will fulfill their wish list. For children who are in EFC, we are working with Ready for Life and case management to figure out how we're going to serve those kids. We don't really know what that's going to look like yet. So do please feel free to put in the request, because we would like to have them in there so that we can figure it out. But again, now that we're opening this up to all children in care, we're not exactly certain what we'll be able to do for children in EFC or youth in EFC, but we will be serving them somehow collaboratively. So the total cost of the items is the same as it has been in years past. There's no change here. For children 0 to 5, that's going to be $75. For children 6 to 12, that's $100. And for children 13 to 17, that's going to be $150. For youth who are in EFC, again, we don't really know what that's going to look like. Our goal is to be able to provide a gift card to every child who is a wish list is submitted for them if they're not receiving help through another agency, but we're not sure yet. So that's something that we're still working on. The timeline is similar to years past. The wish list will be open, will go live on the 24th of September, which is next Wednesday. We will be accepting wish lists until October 15th. From November 17th to November 21st, you will be getting, or whoever put the request in, will be getting information about who the child's donor is and where you can pick up the items. And then the gift pickups themselves will be from December 9th to December 12th. For those of you who are going to be going on vacation during that time of 12/9 to 12/12, please make sure that you have in advance found somebody else who will be picking up those gifts, whether or not that's the caregiver or it's a family member or it's a friend. Hero to a Child is still the lead agency on this, and we are the ones who are doing all the matching and of the wish lists. And so we are a staff of 4 people and 1 dog who really isn't very helpful in this situation. So anything that you can do to kind of help us out with that by coming to get the gifts that you've requested is very, very helpful and very appreciated by us. What if you missed the October 15th deadline? Oh, Ms. Paulette. I cannot hear you if you're speaking.
Questions can also be typed into the chat. I am monitoring that. So if for some reason there are issues with audio, you can just type to everyone and I can read those out and help get those answered for you.
Thanks, Erin. So if you miss the 10:15 deadline, no problem. At that point, what will happen is we'll have our form go live for the Holiday Magic registration form. So at that point, you can sign up your children to come shop at the Holiday Magic workshops. There will be one in Pinellas County, and then there will be one in Pasco County. The one in Pinellas County will be at Raymond James, just like it was last year. And the one in Pasco County will be at the Arapika Elks like it has been for the last number of years. And again, we will have gifts for all children of all ages. You can also sign up, or your caregivers can also sign up, other children in the home that weren't qualified for a wish list. So that could look like children who are in the STEPS program, who are in diversion, who are not in out-of-home care. That could also look like, Aunt Mary, who has 3 of her own children and she's struggling. She's not getting any caregiver funds yet. And she's really not sure. She's glad she's getting gifts for the kids in foster care, but she's not sure about her own children. Okay. So that would be where those children can be registered as well. Was there a couple of questions in the chat, Erin?
Yeah. So the first is, when will the link for requests be provided?
The link for requests will be provided next Wednesday, September 24th.
Okay. And then
but I will be putting up at the end of this week, there will be an email going out that will have a link to what the form looks like, so that if you're curious about what the form looks like, or you'd like to pass that on to your foster parent or caregiver, you can do that. And that way they can have a sense of what that form, the questions are going to be prior to putting in the form.
Next question regarding gift pickup notification. Will only the person who submits the request be notified about the gift pickup?
That is correct.
Whoever's information is provided to us is who will get that detail.
Right.
And
that's right. So
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I just wanted to be really clear on that. So like if you're putting it in on behalf of the foster parent, you are going to be the one to get it. But if you want the foster parent to pick that stuff up, then you're going to need to forward that information over.
Next, if a child is reunified and the family has a need, can they get sponsored?
No, they cannot be sponsored through the wish list, but you are more than welcome to request them for the Holiday Magic Workshop. So if they've been reunified, you're going to sign them up for the workshop and they're going to be able to come and shop.
And then last, what if a child wants a bike?
If a child wants a bike, we will find a donor to give them a bike. It will be what they get. They will get a bike, a helmet, and a lock. And we recognize that most of the time that is over those price limits, but we know kids bikes are so important for our kids and for their autonomy. We will absolutely do that.
It is very important also for a bike that you provide us the specifics on the size of bike needed for the child. The age does not direct purchase. And unfortunately, once it's purchased and put together, it's very difficult to return or exchange it. So have the conversations with the caregiver to make sure you know the size of bike that is needed.
Okay, can you sign up, or can the family sign up to have both a wish list fulfilled and for the workshop for the same child? No, no, you can shop for another child in the home, or who is ineligible for wish list fulfillment, but a child cannot both be sponsored with their wish list and be shopped for at the workshop.
Tawny, can I add a clarifying piece of information real quick?
Yes, you sure can.
Around confusion about requests versus shopping. So if you have a specific item or items for a child that is currently in care and you would like to submit a request for those items to be purchased on behalf of that child, you would submit a wish list request. If the family doesn't have specifics, they just know that the child would like some toys that are age appropriate for a, female 7-year-old, that would come in through the workshop. Those are the big events that we host where the room is filled with toys and, books and other items. And you or the caregiver can come in and shop the workshop to pick up items that are available on those tables as the gifts.
Thank you, Erin. Is everybody clear on that? Is there anybody that isn't clear on that at this point? I know that is complicated. Okay. So when and where are the pickup locations? So on the wish list form or the workshop registration form. Oh, and one more thing, let me back up. When you're submitting a wish list, you also will have an opportunity to sign up the other children in the home. There is a question of, are there other children that you need to shop at the workshop for? And if so, what are their names and ages? So that is in there. So in theory, if you're doing let's say you're doing a wish list and you're the aunt of 3 children and you put in the 3 children's the foster children stuff, but you want to shop for your own 2 children, you'll be able to click that you would like to shop at the workshop for the other 2 children and give it that information. So you don't have to fill out a whole nother form at a later date. So we are trying to make this a little bit easier than maybe it has been in the past. So when and where are the pickup locations? The pickup locations in Pinellas County will be at Raymond James again this year, same as it was last year. Tuesday, December 9th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. will be Family Day. So that's the time when folk can come. We're going to have activities for the kids. We'll have Santa Claus. Polar will be there. We'll have some other characters. We'll have arts and crafts. We'll have an opportunity, for food and drink. And that's a real fun family-friendly event. There will be one room for the children that they can kind of hang out with, and then another room where all the shopping stuff is so that the adults can shop for them while the kiddos are having a good time. The next day, Wednesday, December 10th, is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That will close at 2 p.m. It will not close at 2:30 p.m. So if people come at 2, it's going to be done because we need to get out of that space because it's not our space. There will be no activities and care for children at that workshop. So that's really designed for adults to come and shop for their kids while the kids are in school. And then the second one will be in Pasco at the Arapika Elks. And that is, again, it's the same location it's been the last number of years. Thursday, December 11th from 4 to 7 will be Family Day again. Same thing as with Raymond James. Friday, the only difference is that it's all in one room at Arapika. There's not separate rooms that we have, but we kind of have separate areas within the space. And then Friday, December 12th, again, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. would be for adults to come and shop. And then for those of you who are assigned to Shorecrest, that date will be Saturday, December 13th from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. I see that Fran maybe had a question.
Yes. She's looking for more detail on how we are handling group homes.
I mean, kids in group homes are just like any other child. We are having some conversations, and I know that Jacqueline is having some of these conversations with a donor that has provided for kids in group homes in the past. So, but if there's a child in a group home, you can put in a wish list for them if they're in, dependency.
And that would most likely come from that guardian, not from the group home worker.
That's correct. Okay, so what if you're getting a wish list fulfilled and you're not shopping? Can you still participate? Absolutely. Please, 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 your kiddos, they can come, they can get a picture with Santa, they can do some arts and crafts and make some dinner, like have a fun festive evening. Like this is really, it is a really fun event, and we want even those folks, they don't have to be shopping to participate in the event. So the pickup for the wish list are going to be at the workshops. So we're going to have a special area at the workshop. So, you know, this is the same thing we did last year. We realized that a lot of people have to do both things. And so they would have to go to multiple places. And so we were trying to make that a little bit easier for you last year and this year. So unless you're at Shorecrest, you have a Shorecrest pickup, you should be able to go to the same place that you pick up your gifts that you would shop at for children at. If you can't pick up gifts at the assigned pickup time, please, again, I'm going to reiterate this, please have someone else on your behalf pick up gifts during the time frame. We're really small staff. We don't have the capacity to make, you know, last minute changes or to arrange later time and date for pickup. And, you know, what I would say is if you need to change between Pasco and Pinellas location, the Arapika Elks location and the Raymond James location, we can probably make that happen as long as you give us enough notice, but we cannot do any transition with Shorecrest. So if you have a Pinellas location, like you're picking up at Raymond James and you have a Shorecrest location, we are not going to be able to bring your gifts from you know, the Pinellas to Shorecrest. And the reason being is that, again, we don't have the capacity, but also we're going to forget, most likely. It's really, really busy time. And so, you know, we're going to be serving 2,000 kids during this time, and we just don't have the ability to do that. And also, if you get Shorecrest, it's probably because we needed to have you go to Shorecrest based upon what you requested.
One, I just forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, if you do, with the exception of an emergency situation, please give us notice if you need to change your location, because everything gets loaded onto a U-Haul, and trying to find one bag within 1,000 is very difficult. So we need a little bit of notice if you need to switch the location, but we can make that work.
If you want to switch a location, we need to know by December 4th. That would be the cutoff for us to be able to switch a location. Diane asked if the gal will be notified if the caregiver put in the wish list. And will the gal be notified if the items were picked up? No. That is going to be your responsibility. Hero to a Child is outside of the system, so we may or may not even know if a child has a guardian ad litem and who that guardian ad litem is. So this is really, if you're a guardian ad litem who has usually done this in the past on behalf of your family, we do ask that you communicate with that family to make sure that, you know, that they're doing it or they want you to do it.
The next question is, if I need to have an alternative person pick up, what kind of notification will Hero to a Child need? And could it be a best friend or a spouse? Do they need to be associated with the guardian?
No, they can be a best friend, they can be a spouse, they can be a coworker. You know, they can pretty much be anything. And what they would want to bring is, you know, your name, whoever it is that put in the request, and the children's name as well, so that we can find that information. And then also the number, there'll be a number assigned to the child. And so they'll need that too. But you'll have all that information to be able to provide to them.
Amazing, Jay. Thank you. Jay would like to volunteer.
Great. The link to volunteering will go out, Jay, when we do, you know, next week. Actually, it'll probably go out on Friday again. Bridget, let
possible
me
donors.
see. Yes. So if you know of folk who, might be interested in donating either through having an angel tree somewhere or having a box where people can bring in gifts, please either you can sign them up yourself on their behalf, or you can give them the link to be able to sign up for that. And again, that is on our website.
Sign them up if you've had a conversation with them and they said yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what else do you need to know? Again, we'd really appreciate if you'd respect our donors and our cost guidelines. This year, if a child's wish list contains items greater than the allowable limits, we will either adjust it so that it's within those limits. So for instance, if you ask for a bike and then you also ask for other things, we're just going to have the bike on the list and the helmet and the lock. Or if a child's wish list is too high and the only thing that they want is something, or is like a PS5, we're going to kick it back to the person who put in that request, and the onus is going to be on that person to redo the request. So we're not going to be reaching out to folk in that situation. We're just going to send it back and we're going to ask them to redo it. And then the other thing is that if you or the caregiver can't find the item, our donors are not going to be able to find the item either. So, please put things that are easily found on those lists. And please don't put items and links to overseas places like Temu and Shein. We're not giving that information out to our donors because it could compromise their financial security. And we're not going to do that to our donors. And make sure that when you're filling it out that you put the name of the item that the child would like in the item form. So don't put the link in there, because then what we have to do on our end is we have to go to the link, we have to figure out what it is, we have to put it in the form. It takes a long time, and we just don't have that kind of time. So please put the name of the item that the child would like, and then if you have a link, you can put it in. There's another field that's going to be for the link. Please do note that not everybody shops at the same location. So if you put an Amazon link and the person doesn't shop at Amazon, they're not going to get that exact item.
So we have a question around tablets, and I think there should be twofold in response to that. We do have educational funding. So if it's a school-aged child that needs a tablet for school, that can be separate from a wish list. That does not need to be a holiday gift necessarily. But that being said, if the request is for a tablet at the holidays, they're asking, are there any ages that are required in order to qualify for a tablet?
No, not at the holidays. So if you needed a tablet for, a 2-year-old, we would put on, a tablet for a 2-year-old.
An Amazon tablet, or not an iPad.
No, it would not be an iPad, and it most likely is not going to be like a Samsung or an LG. It's going to be either a Fire or a Contexo, because that would be within the price limit.
And age appropriate as well.
That's right. That's right. Please don't request phones. We're not going to provide phones. We're not going to provide vapes or anything that promotes drug, alcohol, tobacco use. If somebody is asking for a t-shirt or a poster or whatever, check it out before you send us the link, just to make sure that it doesn't have, somebody smoking a blunt on it or something like that. Like, these are the kinds of things we get, and then we have to come back to you and say, hey, we can't provide that. What else would you like? We're not going to provide any violent video games. If you don't know if it is a violent video game, feel free to look it up, please. We're not going to provide guns. Nerf is okay, but if you're putting a Nerf gun on a child's list and you're not the caregiver, please make sure that you've confirmed with the caregiver or the foster parent that it is okay for that child to receive that. We also will not be receiving video game sneakers. And then lastly, this happens every year, multiple times. We will not be providing rare sneakers and sneakers that, you know, are going to be things that you have to go to weird, you know, websites in order to purchase. So, you know, if it isn't easy to get at a standard retailer, we're not going to be able to fulfill that
A
request.
good example of that are Jordans. A lot of the kids will want Jordans. We are happy to fulfill that wish, but oftentimes we will get this specific color and this brand and this size, and it's a link. And then when we go to it, it's been sold and we can only find it for like $500. And it's a very difficult process. So if they want a pair of white and red trim Jordans, that's a great piece of information that we can use to purchase and direct our donors. But a very like rare and unique sneaker is oftentimes not available by the time we get to the donor shopping.
Yeah. Okay, so we will not fulfill requests for gift cards for children under 12. Please don't ask for them. For children 12 and over, we can, but please remember also that a lot of donors don't like to provide gift cards, so it does make us harder. It does make that child harder to shop for. But we, you know, we will try. And then donors love to hear a little bit about the kids that they're purchasing items from, but we would really ask that you not share any confidential information. So saying that Joey has suffered neglect, is now in a loving home is fine, but giving too much details about that abuse and neglect is not. We do read and edit every single description before sending your list to a donor. But we do ask that you help us with that process. Again, it takes a long time. So the less we actually have to edit, the better.
The next question is for out of county requests and how we will handle those.
That's a great question. So if the child is out of county and you would like to put in a wish list for them, you may, but getting the items to them will be your responsibility. We will not be, we are not able to reimburse for postage or gas or any of those things. So a lot of times what ends up happening is for children who are out of county, every circuit has a program. Somebody's doing a children's holiday program, so they can get the gifts from that county, just like we will service kids at the holidays who are placed in our county. We ask that, you know, other counties will serve those children who are placed there. So once we provide your child's information and the wish list to our donors, we really don't have any control over what a donor actually purchases or when they purchase it. So every year we have a couple donors that are running late, who might not be able to do it on time. You know, we really don't have any control over that. We make sure that every single donor has the information that they need by the first week of November. You know, that's why you have to put in your lists so early. And so we want to give them almost an entire month to shop and to get everything taken care of. Some of our donors are taking 200, you know, to 300 kids. So it does take a lot of time for them. And since we're managing so many wish lists, we can't really compare all the wish lists to what was actually purchased. We're going to try to do that this year, but I have no guarantee that we'll be able to. It's really going to be about how many volunteers we have. And also, you know, when people bring in the gifts really last minute, it makes that really impossible. So for those that, you know, we get them in a couple of days in advance, we'll be able to look at them and compare them to the wish list. But for those that don't, we will not be able to. I saw a question is out of state. Again, we're not going to reimburse for shipping or gas or anything. So if you want to purchase for something, if you want to put in for a child who's out of state, we will satisfy that wish list, but you'll still need to come get the stuff and get it to them. Gifts will come unwrapped so that you can see what was provided. We don't need to have any surprises. You know, when the child opens the gift, and unfortunately that does happen. And so we've just done a blanket across the board. We did not provide wrapped gifts to kids. We will have wrapping paper. We will have gift wrappers at both of our workshops. So if you want to, or the caregiver wants to wrap the gifts once you've seen them, there will be people there who will do that. If you'd like to help us spread the word, and you know a business or a faith community or an HOA or a scout troop or whatever who might like to help, we do need people who will sponsor wish lists, host gift drives, donate toys for the workshop, and volunteer. This is the wish list link. Erin, would you be willing to put that in the chat? herotoachild.org/holiday-magic. On that page, you'll be able to see, you know, all the different things. You'll be able to sign up to volunteer. You'll be able to sign up to sponsor a wish list. You'll be able to sign up to host a gift drive. And you'll also be able to, there are links to our Amazon, Target, and Walmart shopping list. So somebody could also just go ahead and purchase a couple of items from those. The timeline for donors, all gifts have to be dropped off no later than December 8th in the morning for wish list and the Pinellas workshop. And then by 12:11 in the morning for Pasco workshop. And of course, we would prefer to get things earlier than later, but we understand that, you know, people are also, you know, our donors are also very busy. Thank you, Heather.
So there's a question about if a group home manager can put in a wish list for all the children living in their group home.
You know, that's not really a question that we've thought of, which is something that we should have thought of. I think if the group home is really in need and you feel like the group home is really in need, that's fine. You know, if the group home is running their own holiday campaign and they're getting gifts in, then, you know, maybe that's a different decision. But I think, you know, I think it's okay. We want to serve all kids in care. What we don't want is for folks to, you know, take advantage of the situation. So that would be, you know, use your best judgment around that, for sure.
Yeah, I think this is similar to with the caregivers, making sure to have a conversation if you have kids in a group home, so that you know if the group home manager intends to submit a request or if you should be doing it on behalf of the child. Because again, we will only accept one request per child, and we want to make sure there's communication between caregiver and guardian.
Okay, we can now, if there are any, does anybody have any questions or comments? We now have some time for that.
Connie, it's Heather. I just want to say something. But I just, for everybody on the call, I know there's like a lot of rules and things that we went through. And I know we have partner organizations. We're super, super excited about this, but I'm going to say I don't like the holidays. Everybody knows this about me. Tani, my team loves the holidays. This makes their hearts so happy. But what they don't want is to disappoint a kid at the end of the day. So really this comes back to being about the child. So asking you to help us kind of filter those things, avoid those catastrophes when we're working in very tight corners with very limited time. It's just to make sure that the kids have a really magical holiday and that those expectations are set. So we thank you all so much for doing that and helping us out with that piece.
Yes. Thank you, Heather.
I love that, Heather. Thank you so much. That is so true. I will say and I don't know if anybody else on the team feels this way, but I will say between the time we start getting requests and the time we're done, I literally have dreams every night where I've forgotten a kid and they don't have anything, and I'm running to shop and it's a huge thing. And this kid wanted this thing that I could have gotten 2 months ago, but now I can't. And so yes, absolutely, Heather, that is a great point. It really is for the kids and making sure that they have a wonderful holiday. in a really difficult time in their life.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you,
Because
Pam.
I usually end up at Five Below and Walmart and Target
Mhm.
the night before the workshop because somebody has gotten left out or somebody didn't purchase.
Yeah.
them, and we are
Yeah.
desperately trying to fill them. So, thank you. Yeah, we will let
Yeah,
people know
unfortunately,
for-
there's a lot that falls through the cracks, and it's always last minute notice and everybody trying to make it happen. And it's just really wanting to make it super, super special for everybody. So it's incredible watching everybody do it. But I just want you to know, like, your help on that back end really helps the team out because we're going to have it happen, unfortunately. But the more we could limit that and just make sure this goes off smoothly is great.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't have any questions, if you'd like to, you're welcome to go at this time. I don't have anything more to share. Erin, Heather, Amber, or Jacqueline, do you have anything that you would like to share? We're really so excited to be working with FSS again this year and to have Suncoast Voices join us this year.
I think it's a great opportunity to pull everything together and collaborate and make sure that we're serving as many families as we can and not duplicating services. So excited.
Guy, I see that you've got your hand raised.
Yes, two questions. Could you reiterate when the drop-off would be for the workshop for the Elks?
For the Elks, it would be by the morning of the 11th of December.
Okay, and for miscellaneous gifts that a group might wish to contribute, is there any age group that sort of gets shortchanged that would want to be targeted?
I mean, it's always teens, right? We never, ever, ever have enough stuff for teens.
Okay.
Teens is always the issue. People, bring in dolls and Legos and, stuffed animals and things for the younger kids, but our teens always, at the beginning, it's usually great, but then by the second day, there's usually very little left.
And we do in both of our workshops, just so everybody knows, if you haven't been, we do designate a teen area and we restrict the shoppers to those shopping for teens because the younger kids still want the water bottles, the sports equipment, the makeup, the, books and things that we put there, art supplies, whatnot. But we do set up an area specific for teens to really make sure that we have enough to go around for them. But that is the number one area I end up shopping for that last week.
Yeah. And so I would really reiterate, if you have a teen, if you're working with a teen, and they have specific things they want, go ahead and put in a wish list. I have donors that like to support teens, and it's easier for us to help them if we know what they want. And to get that wish list satisfied than it is to have a whole bunch of teens showing up at the workshop. And then we're like, oh, we don't have, enough stuff for them. But we do go out and shop. Like every night we're going to go shop after Raymond James on, the first night, Tuesday night for, and we're going to shop on Wednesday night or Thursday night for Arapica. I mean, we do to make sure we have, good stuff.
So I have one question about for teens, because I know for little kids, it's pretty easy, to get the games and the dolls and stuff like that. For teens, it's a little bit more difficult. Is there any particular items that you suggest?
Yeah, we'll send out, a list of items, but Guy, a lot of times teens like, those like higher price Bath and Body stuff from like Bath and Body Works, body sprays, nice gels, body gels. They tend to like electronics. They like, earphones and, sporting equipment, older art supplies. Our kids are really into manga a lot of the time, so anything related to anime is always good.
More
Backup
intricate
power
Lego
sources.
sets.
Yeah, the nicer, more like technical Lego sets, the older ones. Kids love those. Yeah.
Books.
Yep.
Thank you.
Dahlia,
Mhm. Hi, thank you. And I'm sure you already said this, and I'm sure it's in the presentation, but we as guardian ad litem, we can donate gifts if we want. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then we can also drop, where would we drop them off? All of that is in the presentation, or?
You'll drop them. It is not in the presentation, but you would be, if you sign up, when you sign up to donate on the form, you're gonna get an email back and you're gonna get all of that information. So the easiest thing that you can do for us if you want to make a donation is to go on the form and sign up. There's an option of like, oh, I want to host a gift drive, or I want to sponsor a child, or I just want to bring some workshop items. And then what will happen from there is you'll get an email that will be tailored to what you want. It'll take a couple days because I mean it's not automatic, right? But I'll send you an email letting you know, and then in November I'm going to send you a lot more details, like where and when you can drop things off. And I'll send you, if you're wanting to shop for a workshop, I'll send you a list of popular items that I've seen that year. Because if kids are putting the item on a workshop list, I'm sorry, on a wish list, probably other kids will want that too. And so we would want that to have some of that at the workshop. Stanley Cups were really big last year, right? So we tried to have, we went into the workshop with 30 or 40 Stanley Cups for teens on the teen tables at each of our workshops. So, we try to see what are the trends, and then we aggregate that information and give it out to folks who want to shop for the workshop.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We do generally ask that all item donations be in a week prior. So it's usually like the beginning of December, as it will take us time to get everything organized for the workshops and make sure that wish lists are fulfilled and such.
Drop off dates for everything will be Wednesday. This is in Pinellas, Wednesday the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th and the 6th. The 3rd and the 6th will be at our office, and the 4th and the 5th will be actually at Raymond James. If you're Pasco based and you want to make a donation, we'll need to coordinate that, because we'll need to coordinate that with the Arapika Elks. But for those of you who haven't participated, even if you're a guardian ad litem and you have your foster parent or caregiver put in the list for their kids, we do recommend that you come. Come. It's an opportunity for you to see your kids in a different kind of way. And it is really, really fun. It's a really fun experience. I don't know, I guess I can say that, but it is the feedback that we have received, is that the workshops are really wonderful.
They are.
Connie, did Fran sign up First United Methodist Church for the gift drive?
Yes.
Okay. That was the last question on there, unless anybody has anything else.
Okay, and then of course we will be receiving the presentation. Will the presentation just be on the website?
Yeah, we'll put the presentation in on Facebook, and we'll put the presentation in the on the website. Sure.
All right, thank you so much.
You'll also be receiving an email on Friday that sort of recaps a lot of the information we discussed. Okay, Deb. Did you have a question? I can't tell if that's a clap or a question.
Look like clap.
Yeah, I think it's a clap.
Okay.
It was really cute though.
It was. All right. Well, I'm going to stay on a little bit longer in case anybody has any other questions that they would like to ask. But thank you so much, y'all, for attending. If you know people who wanted to attend but weren't able to, we'll be doing this exact same thing on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. So feel free to let them know to attend that.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.